Hey guys, I'm Kevin,
I'm Jake.
and this is Movie Matters. Today we continue talking about war movies, and this one's fitting for the month because it's a war movie. Because that's what it is.
That's correct, Kevin.
Thanks. Empire of the Sun, Steven Spielberg, 1987. I've never seen it. Jake, you've never seen it?
Nope.
All right, I'm curious to hear your thoughts.
I thought it was a good movie. Everybody in it is very good. I think the writing is really good. Yeah, Steven Spielberg's obviously a great director. My only gripe is that it's long, and it could have been trimmed down.
It is very long and very boring, in my opinion. I was very tired. I watched it last night prior to doing this. Obviously, this recording the next day. So it was pretty boring for me. I think it deserves another rewatch for me. I didn't take a ton of notes. It just didn't do it for me. I don't know. It just seemed... It's not that it's a bad movie by any means. It's a good movie, and there's some awesome shots. The acting's great. I mean, it's Christian Bale when he's a tiny little kid, and he kills it in this as he does in every freaking movie he's in. I don't know. It just seemed... Maybe it's because it's from a child's perspective that it didn't have the stakes I wanted, being that they're POWs.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny, again, we did this where, like, this is almost the same type of perspective as Come and See from, like, a war movie, category, where, like, it's not exactly about the war, it's kind of the periphery of the war and, like, how civilians are kind of impacted by it. And, like, coming off of Come and See... this is like watching E.T., so it's a little,
quite a drastic change.
Yeah, I mean it's very similar. I mean it's similar in the sense that there's very little, I should say, like direct combat. It's following a character through some sort of like journey during wartime, but like I think you put it pretty well. Like the stakes don't feel super high. I don't know like what it is necessarily. If maybe like the intensity is just not there.
Yeah, the stakes. I mean, it's a good movie. It's directed super well. It's shot super well. It's acted super well. The set decoration's great. John Williams is the guy who does the score, as he does for every Spielberg movie. He's excellent in this. It's just... The movie is like this. There's no... Especially when it gets into the POW camp, it flatlines, if you ask me. Again, I don't think it's a bad movie. I think it's a good movie. I'm glad we watch it. And I feel like I say that about every fucking movie we watch. But it just... I don't know. People aren't... It's not... Maybe I'm looking for a little bit more brutality from the war, or like... It just seems like they're trapped in this POW camp, this internment camp, that's like not really intimidating.
It's kind of like sanitized,
yeah,
in like a lot of ways. And like I don't. So this is based on a real guy's experience, going through this. So maybe this was what these, I mean, they were Japanese camps housing, British and American, I don't know, like expats in the Shanghai area, basically. So maybe that's what it was just like. And it was just this like fairly civilized and like, you know, sanitized compared to other places. But like from my, you know, watching and reading on World War II and like the Japanese campaign in the Pacific, like the Japanese were like particularly brutal. So like I feel like that was missing here. Especially like they like absolutely wrecked China. Like this is like one of those things where like little tough to talk about, but like a lot of the Japanese hate Chinese and Korean people because there's a whole bunch of history between the three of those countries fighting each other and like screwing each other over and stuff. And like particularly because of World War II, the Japanese built up this like monstrous war machine like overnight. And then they just swept through like all of Asia and the Pacific. Like, and like, I mean, you know, we talked a little bit about the like scorched earth, you know, kind of warfare that the Germans were, you know, employing in Eastern Europe at the same time. The Japanese were like a step above that in a lot of like China, and I think particularly China, throughout their campaign of expansion. So I feel like that was maybe a little bit missing. Even like the few fight scenes that are in the movie are pretty like, you know, it's just like a shootout and like there's not like a whole bunch of like it's just like, I don't know. The best way I can put it is that it's very sanitized. It's very, like even keeled. I'd expect a little bit more like edge maybe, or you know, something.
It is only rated PG.
Yeah.
And I mean, Spielberg, I feel like wasn't known for. I mean, obviously
Gritty,
he came out with
like
yeah.
I
mean, he came out with Saving Private Ryan and Schindler's List, and I mean that's when he kind of gets more brutal. And maybe I kind of expected that from this, even going in knowing it's a PG rating and it's about a kid, Christian Bale's character Jim. The one thing I do like is like the loss of innocence that Christian Bale's character goes through. You know, he starts the movie off as Jamie, as you know, a child crying for his mom, and then he has to learn to survive in this internment camp.
A bratty,
like
kid.
Yeah, I mean that's why the like housekeeper Ama, I think her name was, like slaps him in the face when she's like stealing a piece of furniture. When he goes back to his house after getting separated from his parents. Definitely kind of a spoiled brat, but he learns to become a man, but he's too young, and like he loses that age of innocence, which is a very prominent theme in the last movie we watched, Come and See, which I think this review is probably going to be pretty short, to be honest. Again, I don't have a ton to talk about, but I think, and that always happens with us for some reason. We always do like some crazy long review that's like an hour and 10 minutes and 20 or longer, and then our next review is like 20 to 30 minutes. That always happens. But I think the randomness and the way we've picked these movies is awesome, and I feel like we didn't even realize how, like, the level of greatness that we picked. And what I mean by that is like these movies are so different.
Yeah.
But they're all part of World War II, and it's all a different side of that war, which is so cool.
Yeah.
And we kind of picked them at random and like put them in a random order. And again, it's just really awesome how it lines up for us.
And we actually changed the order and one of the movies. So.
Yeah. I mean, this is such a big contrast to the movie we just watched, Come and See, but it's very similar. It's a very similar plot line, if you will. Or like central theme / story about a kid getting pushed into war and realizing the horrors of war. I like how all of our movies are, like, the past 2 movies have been the horrors of war, and then this isn't as much of that, but it's seeing it through a child's eyes, and that's what Spielberg is really well known about. We've talked about it in our Indiana Jones review from the Temple of Doom, and he loves having that child's perspective on screen. So, I mean, this is a perfect movie for him. I'm shocked I've never seen. There's a handful of Spielberg movies I've never seen. I haven't seen a lot of his new ones. I need to watch them because he's one of the best directors still working today. But yeah, I don't know. I think mindset, and I've talked about this a lot in a handful of our reviews, is the mindset you go into watching these movies does affect your viewing experience. And again, I was tired, and I watched this pretty late at night, and it's a long movie. It's 2.5 hours almost, and it's long, and it drags quite a bit. It's a good movie. I've mentioned this too, is I rate these movies on Letterboxd with a D, excuse me. I am following Nick, one of our, I believe he's a listener. He's the one that recommended The Beast. I mentioned that before. There's a handful of movies that we've reviewed, and he's like rated super high, which is awesome. And they're like Chariots of Fire and this and The Beast, and he gives them all 5s, which is great. But I always feel bad because I'm rating them like 3s and 3.5s. I mean, granted, everyone's rating scale is quite different. And 3 isn't a bad score, because that's what I gave this movie on Letterboxd. This is a 3. 3 is like, I enjoyed it, but I'll probably never watch it again. That's kind of my rating for 3. 3.5 is like, oh, that was pretty solid, and it's debatable if I'll watch it again. 4 is like, I really enjoyed that, and I'll definitely watch it again. 4.5 is like, that was amazing. I can't wait to watch it again. 5 is like, masterpiece. Like, I love this, or I have some type of personal connection to the movie, or had like a specific time that I enjoyed the movie, and I look back to my childhood. But this movie I gave a 3. So it's kind of a low-ish rating. So sorry, Nick, if you're listening. I always find that funny. I always look on there and I'm like, oh, like Nick's rated this. Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, this movie's kind of like an Oscar bait, kind of movie, where it's like you have like all these like really great elements, that like come together, but it's not necessarily like the perfect package, like if you take any individual element of the movie, it's like, wow, like that was amazing, but together it's just like it just doesn't land, as
doesn't click into place as well as it should.
Yeah, right. Which I think if you shaved off 20 minutes.
Oh, okay, even more. Yeah, 40.
It might even be.
Yeah, I can agree.
Up there.
I'd agree. I mean, speaking of Oscars, this movie was nominated for 6 Oscars. It was nominated for cinematography. It won 0, by the way. It won 0. Nominated for cinematography, set decoration, costume design, sound, editing, and score by Johnny Williams, our boy Johnny Williams. Now, with you talking about Oscar baity, like this is kind of Oscar tropey, that got me thinking. Is Spielberg an Oscar bait? Is he an Oscar baiter?
No.
What do you think? No?
I mean, Jurassic Park's not Oscar bait.
And that's exactly what I was thinking of when I was forming this question in my head. It's like Jurassic Park is not that way, but
honestly, like the Indiana Jones franchise isn't Oscar bait,
even though they've been nominated for. I mean, Jurassic Park was nominated for Oscars. Indiana Jones was nominated for Oscars. I mean, because they're amazing movies.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Even a movie like Saving Private Ryan is very much in the same sphere as Empire of the Sun, but like I mean Saving Private Ryan also again is what a decade after this, so and like how many movies, like 4 or 5 movies between these. Yeah. That Spielberg directed, so a lot of experience between Empire of the Sun and Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah.
But like, Ryan's just so gripping.
It is
for the entire movie, So it's a little different, but
that's kind of again, that kind of brings me to I've talked about this before as well. It's like war movies don't have that rewatchability for me. It's like I don't want to go back and rewatch a war movie. Like Come and See, we talked about this in our last review. It's like I probably don't ever want to watch that fucking movie again. Not that it's a bad movie, it's a masterpiece. A fucking masterpiece. Like Schindler's List from Spielberg. Absolute masterpiece. I've seen it probably 3 to 4 times in my life.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a depressing movie, but it's so well done. It's mastercraft of craft and filmmaking. But it's like that movie doesn't have a ton of rewatchability. Saving Private Ryan, same thing. Those 2 movies, it's kind of, you could argue, are they Oscar baity?
Well, I think, like the one thing about, I'd say that the qualifying factor for Oscar bait is that it's a historical drama first and war movie second. And like Schindler's List is a historical drama first, war movie second.
I'd agree.
So is Empire of the Sun. Saving Private Ryan is a war movie first, historical drama second, I would argue.
That's a fair point. But like, I don't know, he makes these great movies, but like War Horse, I've never seen it. Lincoln, I've never seen it. It's like,
well, Lincoln, historical drama.
Yeah, it's like he makes a lot of It's the same thing with biopics lately and historical dramas. Yeah. It's like they're popular and they're making them because they're like Oscar winning movies.
They're interesting, and usually you get really good performances out of people, in historical dramas, even if they're fictionalized, like Gladiator, or like things like that. So yeah, I mean, I think they're kind of easy to.
I mean, like The Fabelmans. So, I mean, he has made some like Ready Player One, awesome.
Yeah.
Not an Oscar baity movie.
No.
West Side Story. I'd argue it's an Oscar baity movie. The Fabelmans that he made.
Did he even remake West Side Story?
Yeah, in 2021.
Oh, that's right.
I've never seen it.
I haven't either. I hate West Side Story, though. It's so
I don't really
dumb.
care to see it. Yeah, like, he did The Adventures of Tintin, which is actually pretty awesome. I don't know if you ever saw it.
It's like a animated kids movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great. Like, I mean, I feel like he's almost like, I'll give you one if you give me one. Like, I'll make an Oscar baity movie, but you give me one. Like Minority Report. Super dope.
I haven't seen that, and I really want to watch it.
You've never seen Minority Report?
No.
I saw that in theaters in, like, I think it was 2002 when it came. Yeah, 2002. I was 10 years old. Saw that movie in theaters. First introduced to Colin Farrell. Dope. Super dope movie. I probably haven't seen it since then, which is also crazy. But I remember a handful of parts in it.
Yeah, I mean, Spielberg does have some, like, kind of out of nowhere movies in his catalog.
Yeah.
Like, if you think about it, like, Jurassic Park is kind of, like, out of nowhere. Like,
Hook.
in the rest of his... Oh, Hook, yeah.
Hook is awesome.
Hook is a great movie.
Like, he directed that. That's so dope. Like, I've never seen Amistad, but it's like, come on. It's like Oscar Beatty a little bit.
I don't even know what that is.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, I feel like he wasn't always like that. I mean, like Jaws, 1941,
Yeah, I mean, Jaws
Raiders.
is like a...
Blockbuster.
Yeah, horror blockbuster.
It literally created the blockbuster movies.
Yeah.
But yeah, back to Empire of the Sun. I think it's Oscar Beatty.
I think it is.
But again, I like Christian Bale in it. He auditioned. He was one of 4,000 kids that auditioned for it, and was selected. Spielberg had seen him in the movie Anastasia: The Mystery of Anna from '86, which I've never seen, and Amy Irving was in there in that Anastasia movie, and that was Spielberg's wife at the time, and she recommended him, recommended Bill, so that's kind of why he got the part, which is super cool. I mean, talk about a versatile Swiss Army knife of an actor. Christian Bale is amazing. Yeah, I think he's a great actor.
I want to know if he method acted as a child too.
Apparently, like during certain takes, he would during certain scenes and takes, he would like breathe super heavy and like run around and like do jumping jacks and stuff to like get into character and like be out of breath and like tired. Pretty interesting. So
I
think
he doesn't method act every movie, does he?
I don't know. I don't.
That's
think another
he does,
argument. Like,
but...
is Christian Bale a method actor? Okay. So I just Googled it real fast.
Mm-hmm.
While Christian Bale, and this is just Google. This could be wrong. While Christian Bale has been described as a method actor, he himself denies using the term and claims he doesn't study it. He describes it as his approach as just doing whatever is necessary for each and every day. So,
yeah,
I don't know. He's pretty.
I mean, he makes pretty significant commitments to his roles, I guess. Like The Machinist, he lost like how much weight, to play that. And then, oh God, what's the other one? American Hustle, where he put on like 70 pounds or something, to play that role. And
yeah,
I mean, he goes for it when he's when he's going for it,
Yeah, I mean, that's super dangerous. A lot of people say that like weight gain transformation is like extremely detrimental to your health and not good. But I don't know. I think he is half method, half not. I don't know. He's so good though. And he's great in this. He's great. He does not sing the theme song though. That is not him singing.
Yeah, no, I didn't think so.
Which that song is it's great. Xiao Gan, if I'm pronouncing that right. It's the movie's theme song. It's a lullaby, and it's sung in Welsh, and Christian Bale is Welsh. Yeah, I enjoyed that aspect of it. I like in the beginning when he finds that kind of float plane, and that had the plane that crashed, and he gets in it and he's like playing with his model plane. I loved that scene. That was very Spielberg-like. And then he goes and sees all the soldiers and he's like, oh shit, and that kind of kicks it off, which is cool. And then, it's sad when he gets separated from his parents and you kind of don't know what the heck he's going to do. It's like, I would be interested to hear whatever happened to the parents. We don't ever find out.
Yeah, they don't tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to hear. It's like... They
look like they didn't go through the shit like he did, though.
Definitely not, especially at the end, yeah. But I like that they, show his teeth and they're like, "Oh, look at those perfect teeth," and then by the end of the movie, his teeth are all fucked up and gross.
Yeah.
But the the transition from, I like when Jim is like, Christian Bale's like saluting the soldiers at the plane. I like that. Like he still has such a a respect for pilots and craft and the plane, like planes themselves. He's so obsessed with it. I think that was cool, and it's just like as a kid.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. As a kid, like that stuff is awesome. But yeah, go on.
His like strange admiration for the Japanese and like particularly their Air Force.
Yeah.
Is like an interesting component to his character. Even though he's kind of the victim of, he is a victim of the Japanese occupation, but he like still has such like reverence for, like their planes and their pilots and all that stuff. But then when he sees the American plane, it's
Mustang.
The Mustang. He like starts going apeshit over that too. So
that scene is also incredible. How it's shot and the whip pan almost of the plane going by him and him standing there in like awe is so awesome. And him like screaming his head off like, yeah, the Cadillac of the sky.
Yeah.
So the Mustang P-51 Cadillac of the sky. So cool.
Yeah, that whole sequence is, I'm assuming all practical effects and done unbelievably well.
Yeah, they used a lot of, I have it here. Some of the Mustangs and Zeros in the background of the attack of the airfield were radio-controlled models with a wingspan of 12 feet. If one looks thoroughly, a Mustang passing from right to left, trailing smoke, has no undercarriage doors. That is one of the models. The Zero exploding in midair is, of course, also a model. 6 Mustangs and 6 Zeros were built by Model Effects.
Huh, cool.
Pretty cool. And that whole scene, Spielberg had planned a kind of continuous take for the shot of Jim standing on top of the building watching the planes fly by. The shot was very complicated and required a single take. He gave instructions to Bale to get excited, jump up and down, and run around the roof top as planes passed by and the bombs went off. However, Bale became nervous as the stunts began and didn't do much of anything. Since most of the explosions had to be used up on this shot, Spielberg, after some soft, fatherly words with young Bale, improvised with several shots from different close-up angles, eventually getting Bale to give a more excited performance. So, that's probably the shot where he's like, it's like that shot of his head tilting up and screaming.
Yeah.
So, pretty interesting. The doctor in this movie is one of the actors from Chariots of Fire. I was like, that guy looks familiar.
Okay.
Yeah. Dr. Rawlings, he's Lord Andrew Lindsay in Chariots of Fire. So, pretty funny that it connects. All this shit connects for us. You also have Ben Stiller in this movie.
Yeah.
I was like, no way.
In like a bit part.
Yeah.
Almost like a cameo, really.
Yeah. There's a 6-minute Steadicam shot in this movie, and Ben Stiller messed up the line of his, "Hey kid, would you like a Hershey bar?" and called cut. From across the set, Stiller heard Spielberg shout, "What happened?" Stiller tried to explain what happened, but Spielberg yelled back, No, you never cut." This incident planted the idea in Stiller's head for Tropic Thunder.
No way.
Yes.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
This whole movie basically created Tropic Thunder.
That's so great.
If anything good came out of this movie, it's Tropic Thunder. Yeah. So pretty wild little fun fact I read. Yeah, I mean, that movie's amazing. I love that movie. Did we see that in theaters together?
I think so.
I'm pretty sure we
I
did.
think we did, yeah.
Pretty sure we did.
I still think Downey got robbed of the Oscar, but
From
from
Heath Ledger.
Dead Heath Ledger.
Yeah, dead Heath Ledger. Posthumously.
Posthumous, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, still deserved, but you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Pretty wild. But is that you could argue? Is it because he died? I don't know.
Yeah.
Not to be mean.
Yeah.
No, still well deserved. But it's also crazy that he got nominated for an Oscar for that role. Like,
yeah. I mean,
I'm saying Downey.
oh, right, yeah, for sure, yeah. Yeah, 100%, yeah.
Yeah, wild that he got nominated for that role.
I mean, he's so good.
He is so good. But yeah, back to this movie. I think it's crazy when Jim, Christian Bale's character, like, he basically cries to, I believe it's Basie, which John Malkovich. John Malkovich is awesome in this movie.
Yeah.
So is Joe Pantoliano.
Yeah.
He's great in this. I like when Christian Bale like kind of confesses to, I think it's to Basie, that he can't remember what his parents look like.
It's the doctor.
It's the doctor. Okay, I was thinking that as I said it. Shows how much I paid attention last night. I like that, and then at the end, when he reunites with his parents, which is crazy, he like takes his mom's hat off and grabs her hair because he's like, that's the one particular aesthetic or like feature of his mother that he would remember.
Yeah.
That's crazy. The one thing I feel like it was hard to get a sense of time with how long things were going.
Yeah. And the movie starts in 42. And if they're being liberated by Americans, it's 1945, so it's 3 years.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not like well communicated.
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah, I mean, overall, it's a solid movie. I mean, anything else you want to add?
No, I mean, I think the acting is really good. Cinematography is great.
Yeah.
The practical effects are spectacular. Yeah, it just doesn't click into place as well as it probably should, but
yeah,
worth watching.
Yeah, and I think it just fits very well with our month of war movies and World War II and the different variations of events that happened during World War II. I think this is good.
It's the honestly, it's a rare Pacific theater World War II movie.
Yeah.
It's just not usually the focus of filmmaking. Everybody wants to make a movie about fighting the Nazis. So.
Yeah. Yep. All right, guys. Well, next week, what movie do we have? Do we have Das Boot next week?
Das Boot next week, yeah.
Das Boot is next week, so get ready for that one. That movie's also long as fuck.
Yeah.
So hopefully it fares better than this movie does. And it's all in subtitles, so good luck, Jake.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. But yeah. All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this episode. I know it's not as long as last episode, so maybe you're happy about that. But thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next week.
Yep, see you.